Okay, hello everyone. Today's lesson is all about adding and subtracting fractions. So, here we have some questions about adding and subtracting fractions. And before we do any adding or subtracting, we have to remember this basic rule, which is if we're going to do any adding or subtracting of two fractions, their denominators have to be the same. So, the denominator, that's the number on the bottom. This first question, we have two denominators, 7 on this one, 7 on this one. Hey, look, they're the same. Okay, we can add them together. So we have to make that check. If they're not the same, then we have to do something else. But for now, we don't have that problem. Same number here and here. We can add these two fractions. So 2 over 7 and 3 over 7, we can add them together. So what do? Well, since our denominator was 7 here, and our denominator was 7 here, then our denominator here should also be 7. See, it's the same. So let's make it the same over there. So what about the numerator? Well, the numerator, we're adding 2 plus 3. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. 5 over 7. Okay, so that's the basic trick to it. You have to make sure that the denominators are the same. And if they are, you keep the denominator the same number, and then you add the two numerators together. So in this second example here, we have 1 over 9 and 4 over 9. Denominators are the same, 9 and 9, no problem. So we just keep it as 9. And then we add the numerators, 1 plus 4, 5. Beautiful. All right, at the very bottom there, we have a subtraction question, but it's the same idea. So we have two denominators, 5 and 5, as you can see. So we keep the answer, 5. And then the numerators, 3 minus 2, and that's 1. So the answer is 1 over 5. Okay. So this is all good and well. Now, what do we do when our fractions don't have the same denominator? Now, here we got a 3, and here we got a 5. Well, that breaks the rule that we said they have to be the same. So what do? Do we just quit? I hear some of you saying yes. No, we don't quit. We have to figure out a way of changing those fractions so that they are the same. Well, fortunately, we can do that. We can change them. We have to find a number that is a common multiple of 3 and 5. So that's a number that divides by 3 and divides by 5 and doesn't have any remainder. So that would be 15. 15 can divide by 3 and 15 can divide by 5. So we have to change those denominators so that they're both 15. Well, how do we do that? Well, if we take this fraction, 2 over 5, and we multiply both the numerator and denominator by 3, what will happen is we'll get a new fraction, which will have 15 as its denominator, because 5 times 3 is 15. But it's actually going to be the same value as this fraction, because the 3 and the 3, because they're the same, they cancel out when you're simplifying. So it's still the same as 2 over 5. Those two numbers don't change the value of the fraction. They just change the way it looks, which helps us add. So yeah, we'll multiply both of those by 3. And then for the other fraction, 1 over 3, well, we want this to be 15, so we multiply it by 5, which means we also multiply the numerator by 5. Again, we have to multiply by the same number for numerator and denominator so that we can keep the value of this fraction. So let's do this now. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So that's going to become 5 over 15. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. So that's going to be 6 over 15. So it should be 5 over 15 plus 6 over 15. Okay? And then, well, now we have the same denominator. So we can add these two, just like we did before. So denominator is going to be the same. And we add the two numerators. 5 plus 6 is 11. And then denominators were 15 and 15. So we get 15. All right. Let's take a look at a subtraction question. Works exactly the same way. We have two different denominators, 8 and 6. So we need a number that divides by both 8 and 6. And if you do a quick mental math about that. You figure out, okay, 24. 8 times 3 is 24. 6 times 4 is 24. So if I turn the denominator into 24 for both of these fractions, I can subtract them. Okay, let's do that. This one, I have to multiply 8 by 3. So I multiply both those numbers by 3. And this one, this fraction, 1 over 6, 6 times 4 is 24. So I multiply both these numbers by 4. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 4 is 4. So that's going to be 9 over 24 minus 4 over 24. Now I've got the same denominator, 24, so I can subtract. The new answer will have 24 as a denominator, and then 9 minus 4 for my numerator. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 over 24. There's your answer.